Sticking with your friend or our friend, Mr. Marinakis, Gabi, he went on trial today in Greece for instigating violent and supporting a criminal group.
Yeah. So
Wow.
this is a quote from the charges. Okay, how can I say this? They're very serious charges. They also sound out of context. They sound a lot worse.
Yes, than what it is.
Than what it is. So he's on. It's not just him on trial. It's not like Mr. Marinakis rampages through Athens with his criminal gang into instigating violence. What happens, of course, he's a board member at Olympiacos. 5 board members and 142 fans are basically on trial. The genesis of this was a tragic incident in 2023, which cost the life of a police officer, riot police officer, in fighting. It was actually outside a women's volleyball match,
Oh,
but
wow, okay.
it was Olympiacos and Panathinaikos. So
Yeah.
obviously these are multi-sport setups, like what
Yeah.
we have in Spain with Barcelona and whatnot, where some flares went off, and I think the general thesis of the prosecution is that you have out of control fans. Some of these fans, they're fans by day, but then by night they deal in drugs. They do other things. You know that these are bad elements, and still you associate with them. These are not all, but these are mostly Olympiacos ultras, and so you're somehow responsible for this as well. They've also been accused of intimidating referees and stuff like that. From where I sit, and I am certainly not a lawyer, these sound like charges that are very hard to prove. And yeah, supporting a criminal group is really a stretch, no matter how much you may dislike Marinakis. And I know we joke about him with the spitting and all this stuff, but yeah, come on. It's a tough one and it's difficult. And Paris Saint-Germain, of course, club you know well, they had issues way back when you actually had 2 different ultras groups who hated each other, right?
Yeah.
So it's part of what brings the color, also brings problems. Paphos, who, as everybody knows, didn't exist until 12 years ago, they get their first ever win in the Champions League, and they beat none other than Marcelino and Villarreal, Jules.
Yeah, third in La Liga, which is an embarrassing defeat. I mean, I felt the Champions League this week was terrible look for La Liga overall. But that game, even more than anything else, really, because Villarreal had some chances, and on another day, they could have won, they should have won in Cyprus, but they didn't. Lucasen scored on a set piece, a corner so badly defended. And this was history for Paphos. David Luiz is Paphos, of course. Well done to them, because now they're on 5 points. They had 2 hard-earned draws before with 10 men, because they usually get a player sent off. Not in this game, but they still beat the 3rd best team currently in La Liga.
Karabag on 7, Paphos on 5. All you rich, big clubs from big leagues, hang your heads in shame.
More Marinakis as well. Crystal Palace have been charged for a banner mocking him when they played Nottingham Forest back in August.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, you as a football club are responsible for banners that your fans display. They had a banner. It was a cartoon Marinakis. You might have seen this, holding a gun to Morgan Gibbs-White's head. Remember Morgan Gibbs-White at the time? He was strongly linked with Tottenham, who reportedly had triggered his release clause, but then Forest, for some reason, wouldn't let him go. And what it said is, Mr. Marinakis is not involved in blackmail, is not, and I stress not, involved in blackmail, match fixing, drug trafficking, or corruption. So I think they thought they were being very clever there. The problem is when you put the not in front of somebody and you mention some terrible crime, I think there's a legal basis for it. We'll see what happens. If Palace approve this, I guarantee you this: they won't next time. If they get fined or there's action taken against them. Chelsea have appointed former Liverpool transfer guru Dave Fallows to their club's sporting leadership team. Jules, they basically have 5 sporting directors now. Can you read their names in alphabetical order?
Yes, I can. Gabi, so Dave Fallows, as you said, Sam Jewell, Joe Shields, Lawrence Stewart, and Paul Winstanley. I mean, you always need more sporting directors, Gab. Why not? I mean, and they're not on little money, I can tell you that as well. So,
and they all have contracts through 2031
yeah,
as well.
Exactly. This is baffling, I think.
It's absolutely remarkable because everything that you've been told, the convention, I mean, like, this is just Chelsea doing things different. I could make the joke. Well, look, they have 150 players under contract. Of course, they need 5 sporting directors. I mean, I was at Watford yesterday, and I met with a guy who's the sporting director at 2 different clubs in 2 different countries. So you could argue that he does 10 times the work these guys do, because I'm assuming Strasbourg have their own sporting director.
Yes, they just changed. Yeah, it's David Weir. Do you remember
that's
the player?
right, David Weir, former, of course, a Brighton alum.
Of course.
Look, we can make fun of this and point out that in the corporate world, there's usually a hierarchical pyramidal structure where there's one guy at the top and different people are responsible for different things. They've gone for this almost
5.
5. It's a communist approach, if you will, right? 5 people, 5 heads are better than one. I don't know. Do they vote? Do they lock themselves in a room?
They've got slightly different roles, I think. Some are looking,
Not really, though, because 2 of them are sporting directors. The other 2 have some other nonsense. It's all, they're head of scouting and football development. It's all the same thing.
Yeah, it's all the same, but they've got different titles. That's
historically, they've all been sporting director recruitment types. So that's what they bring to the table. But let's mock it. But you know what? If it works, everybody will be copying for it. Yeah. And there'll be so many more sporting director jobs available.
Gab, an awful story involving Destiny Udogie, who was threatened at gunpoint by a football agent in North London.
That's right. Owing to the laws that they have in this country and the fact that I'm speaking to you from London, I can't tell you who the guy was, even though I know his name. I think a lot of people, you just go on the internet, you can easily find the name of the guy who threatened him, who works for a major sporting agency.
Big company. Yeah.
Maybe I should speak in the past tense, because I don't see how he's going to stick around there at all. I hasten to add, he is not Destiny Udogie's agent in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But he was approached. He was threatened. His friend was threatened that at some point he pulled a gun. And again, some of you listening to us might live in places where guns are commonplace, where maybe they're open carry situations, or everybody or a lot of people have guns. We live in the UK, where guns are extremely rare. It's almost impossible to get a permit to carry a gun around with you. So when you pull out a firearm, they take this very seriously, and it's hard for you to go to prison. Anyway, the guy's out on bail right now. Udogie seems to be fine.
Yeah.
Everybody knew it was him. For some reason, he wasn't actually publicly named until the day before yesterday, when then Spurs put out a statement. But look, he played. He got to enjoy Van de Ven's goal.
Yeah. We see him going like this, because you can't actually believe it.
I'm glad he's well. We don't need this, agents with guns threatening people.
Yeah.
A tragic tale from Serbia, where Bosnian coach Mladen Zizovic collapsed and died during a match.
Yeah, he was 44. Gabi, he was the Radniki manager, and they played Mladost. And he collapsed after 21 minute, 22nd minute, went to hospital, but they could not save him. And it's a terrible, terrible story. A heart attack. It's on the touchline.
It's horrendous, and even just the reactions of the players on the pitch. It's honestly, don't look at the pictures. You don't need to.
Fiorentina are in trouble, Gab. We knew that, but now they've sacked Stefano Pioli. Their sporting director, Daniele Prade, has resigned as well, and the fans are on the warpath.
Yes. There's even some reports that suggest Daniele Prade is in hiding at this point. Daniele Galoppa was the first player in Italy to wear rainbow laces. Fun fact, back when it wasn't a thing. He's the interim coach. I think the owner, Rocco Commisso, dealing with some personal stuff right now, so there's kind of a void there. Yeah. Roberto D'Aversa, not a guy I'm a big fan of for a style of football, seems to be in the driver's seat. Fiorentina fans are some of the most demanding fans in the world, alongside, I think, with Valencia fans. Certainly the team deserves better, but they also should have many more points at the table. Yeah. Desiree Doué has won the Golden Boy. Woo! Jules, I know, and anybody who listened to the show a couple of weeks ago knows, but please remind us, we know this was the best young player playing in the top division in Europe, blah, blah, blah. But surely that would be Lamine Yamal. Listeners will know why it's not Lamine Yamal.
They would know that if you've won it already, you can't win it again. So you could not vote for Lamine Yamal. I'm part of the jury, so I voted
But not for Lamine Yamal.
Again, but not for Lamine Yamal, obviously. My top 5 was Doué, Yildiz, Gula, Mastantuono, and Huysen. So I'm glad my boy Desiree Doué won.
As you know, I like that. I think they should. Maybe not the Ballon d'Or because Ballon d'Or is established.
Yes.
But any of these other ones, FIFA the best. Make your prize different from the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
Say like you could only win it once or something like that.
Daniel De Rossi is back, Gab. He's taking over Genoa after the departure of Patrick Vieira.
Yeah, from one midfield icon to another midfield icon. Although Daniel De Rossi in some ways kind of like the photo negative of Patrick Vieira in terms of in terms of personality and approach. I'm a big fan of De Rossi. I think Genoa have a decent setup. I don't quite know what in the end happened with Patrick Vieira, other than obviously the position on the table.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that he's back and eager to see what he did. He didn't do great at Spal, obviously, but let's see what he can bring. Wrexham winger James McClean explained why he punched a Cardiff fan in the face after being confronted in a car park. Jules, I can't say I blame him.
Yeah, I know he said that words were said. This tall guy with glasses made a hostile move towards him, he explained. So he felt threatened in his workplace. And he said, like, he wasn't waiting for him to make the first swing, so he went first.
Strike first, strike hard, show no mercy.
4 against 1. He said, I was on my own, so I went for it.
We should also maybe remind people why McClean is a controversial figure.
Yeah,
among
it's not the
some
first
people.
time. Exactly.
He doesn't. McClean is from Northern Ireland. This time of year in England, a lot of people wear poppies in remembrance to celebrate veterans of the British Army. McClean, by choice, does not. Probably because he's a Catholic guy from Northern Ireland and knows a lot of people on the other side and the troubles and all this jazz.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know if we know for sure, but I'm pretty sure these 4 guys didn't approach James McClean just to taunt him. I'm pretty sure it probably had to do with McClean's politics on this one. Yeah.
Yeah, or the rivalry between Wrexham and Cardiff when they played each other in the League Cup, and Cardiff won. Maybe as the 2 Welsh clubs, I don't know.
I mean, sorry, if you're Cardiff, shouldn't you be picking on somebody your own size like Swan? I mean, you're Welsh adjacent here.
Yeah.
Your rivals are Swansea. You should treat Wrexham like Drek, right? That's what a big club does, yeah?
But Wrexham plays in a better division than you, though.
That's true. So, that is true.
So do Swansea.
And Wrexham has more handsome owners,
Absolutely.
I would assume.
Yeah,
or one more handsome owner.
For sure, yeah. Gab, remember how the money from the forced sale of Chelsea was supposed to go to the victims of the war in Ukraine, but instead it's still sitting, collecting interest in Roman Abramovich's bank account. Not only is it still there, Gab, but it looks like if anything ever does get paid out, it will be less than half of what we thought.
So, yeah.
You follow this story closely.
Well, it's my old colleague, Martin Ziegler from The Times, every 3-4 months updates us on the story. Now, it's taken an extraordinary twist. So for a long time, the idea was, all right, Roman Abramovich, so Russia invades Ukraine. Roman Abramovich is forced to sell Chelsea, right?
Yeah.
We know this, even though he doesn't actually get officially sanctioned in court, but he works out a deal where he sells Chelsea. They go through the whole process. Rain, Todd Bowley, Bedat Igbali, and their investors buy the club. In the end, the number, I think, £2.35 billion. And they say, okay, as part of it, everybody reports, and the British government reports, oh, look, we've worked out a deal. That money will go to this charity in Ukraine. Then the money goes, and it just sits there in the account. And different stories come out. One says, well, but when Abramovich says victims of the war in Ukraine, he means victims on both sides, Russia and blah, 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 and Ukraine. That doesn't sit well with the government. Seems absurd. This money's just sitting there. It's not being used for what it should be used for, just humanitarian reasons. Now, according to the accounts of the holding company, the agreement seems to be that, no, it's not $2.35 billion, which is what Abramovich got for the club. It's Abramovich's profit. So in other words, you take what Abramovich paid for the club, you take what Abramovich put into the club over the years, which is about £1.54 billion, because obviously he made a lot of loans to Chelsea over the years. And then you take the net amount, which is £923 million, which is, it's more than $1 billion. It'll help, but it's not what we were told it was originally. And why they couldn't have done this transparently and in a way that everybody understands why there's still bound to be litigation and lawyers making money like ghouls off of this. I just find this whole thing sickening. Football Association will have to pay more than £1 million in legal costs after losing their case against Lucas Paqueta. Jules, this is also really embarrassing.
Bad. It is embarrassing for them. This took so long. And I mean, if you look at Paqueta, you feel really aggrieved by it. And I think he also deserved compensation or something because he would have gone to Manchester City. There was probably other moves that could have happened, didn't happen because of that investigation on that match fixing incident on Paqueta Island, all of that. And now for the FA to have to pay 1 million to your friends' lawyers, it's just the cherry on the cake, really, for what was such a bad thing. Gab, who is Tony Scholes? Anything to do with Paul Scholes? And why are we talking about him?
Tony Scholes is Paul Scholes' alter. No, just kidding. No, so Tony Scholes is a guy who worked for the Premier League. He's their chief football officer.
Okay.
I have never actually met the guy, but people I really know and respect say that he's actually really, really brilliant.
Okay.
But the interesting thing for me is he's been recruited to head the USL, the United Soccer League in the US, who obviously right now they operate, I think, 3 leagues. They're classed as Division 2, so they're usually in smaller cities and whatnot. But they're going all in. They're going to become a Division 1 league. They have promotion and relegation, and they're going to compete with MLS. Now, if you're going to set this up, you need some really smart people to make sure you can do it in a way that's financially sustainable, in a way that you really are competing with MLS. And by all accounts, Scholes is that man. So I think he's going to be a really important and powerful figure in U.S. soccer in the coming years. Lionel Messi and Inter Miami will face Nashville in the decisive 3rd game of their best-of-3 playoff first round this weekend. But Luis Suarez won't be there, Jules.
No, he got a 1-match ban retrospectively after the 2nd game, where you wrote on that note donkey kick. I didn't know if that was the name, but basically Andy Naya is behind him, and for no reason, really no reason, Suarez kind of like put his legs out and kicks him from behind, basically. It's just the weirdest thing ever.
You say no reason, unlike the many reasons he had to go and bite Chiellini and Ivanovic and
spit on the guy from whatever
in the League's Cup final.
The League Cup's final. I don't know, because even Suarez is ahead of Naya on that. It just doesn't make any sense. I think Inter Miami have enough to win anyway, even without him. But it's just another.
They were 2-0 down until that Messi magic in the second leg. So I don't know. I think MLS will feel really, really stupid if the biggest attraction bows out this early.
Yeah, that's true. Gab, FIFA have introduced something called the FIFA Peace Prize.
Yes, and they will hand it out on December 5th, which is when the FIFA World Cup draw is. The award will be presented to individuals who, through their unwavering commitment and their special actions, have helped to unite people all over the world in peace and consequently deserve a special and unique recognition.
Okay.
Now, I say this with the greatest of love, Johnny. We've known each other for 20-odd years. Don't do this. Unless you want to pull a rabbit out of the hat.
It's like, for service to football, FIFA gives you a prize.
Right. But everybody assumes that this is going to go to his friend in the White House who ended the 8 wars, who was disappointed that he didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize. I understand you have to work with him. I understand you like him. That's fine. But you're a football organization.
Yeah.
You have 210 constituent members. You like him. He likes you. You work together. World Cup is on track, for better or worse.
Yeah.
Why do this when you know that there are a lot of people who will see this as you reaching new levels of sucking up? I don't think it makes him look good. Oh, I didn't win that prize. Maybe he'll win the prize, and maybe he'll win the Nobel Peace Prize, which is what this is supposed to copy.
Really,
right? And also, you're a football organization. Do I want football people deciding on? When I need a dentist, do I go to the butcher? You should be giving out football prizes. I'm just trying to dissuade you. I'm sure you can find somebody who helped unite people all over the world who actually has some legitimate connection to football. And if you want to give the prize to them, by all means. But right now, the way it's looking, people, again, are making fun of him for for being a bootlicker, which
it is a bit weird. It is a bit weird.
which is just way over the top.
Yeah.
I think even for him. And as you know, I defend him
Yeah,
more than
absolutely.
almost anybody
So
in
if
media.
you say it, you must be.
Jules, this brings us to an end.
Ah,
But we got to come back on Monday because
yes.
there's a pretty big game involving Manchester City and Liverpool.
That's right.
This weekend. Until then, among a whole bunch of other things. Until then, love the game, love your neighbor, love yourself.